Imagine a small, cluttered workshop tucked away in a forgotten corner of a city, where an old man named Mr. Ellis spent his days surrounded by scraps of metal, broken clocks, and half-finished inventions. This wasn't just any workshop. It was a sanctuary of curiosity, a place where time seemed to slow down and dreams took shape in the form of gears and wires. But Mr. Ellis wasn't just a tinkerer. He was a mentor who quietly changed the lives of everyone who crossed his threshold, from restless kids to weary adults seeking direction. At first glance, the obstacles seemed insurmountable. The neighborhood was plagued by neglect and skepticism, where opportunities dwindled and hope was a rare currency. Many who entered Mr. Ellis's workshop carried the weight of self-doubt, fear of failure, and the harsh realities of their environment. But what made Mr. Ellis unique was not the inventions he created, but the strategies he used to awaken potential in others. He didn't just teach skills, he taught perspective. When a young girl named Maya arrived, clutching a broken radio, her hands trembling with frustration, Mr. Ellis didn't just hand her a tool set. Instead, he challenged her to imagine the story the radio could tell, to see beyond the shattered parts and envision the sound that could emerge. He encouraged her to break down the problem into smaller pieces, to isolate what was working and what wasn't, and to celebrate each tiny victory along the way. This approach wasn't limited to fixing objects. It was a blueprint for resilience. For every failure, Mr. Ellis taught a lesson in patience and iteration. When a young boy named Jamal struggled to grasp the basics of circuitry, Mr. Ellis didn't rush him. He used analogies from everyday life, comparing circuits to city streets and electricity to flowing traffic, making complex ideas tangible. He reminded Jamal that understanding didn't come all at once, but built layer by layer, like stacking blocks. The workshop became a living classroom of creativity and perseverance. Mr. Ellis's unique strategy was simple, yet profound. Treat every challenge as a puzzle waiting to be solved, and every person as a repository of untapped brilliance. His mentorship wasn't about giving answers, but sparking the questions that would lead to discovery. Over the years, the impact rippled outward. Maya went on to design affordable hearing aids for children in her community, inspired by the empathy and problem-solving skills nurtured in that tiny workshop. Jamal became an engineer who developed sustainable energy solutions for underserved neighborhoods, driven by the lessons of patience and layered learning. But the true magic was deeper. The transformation wasn't just in their achievements, but in their mindset. They learned that obstacles weren't dead ends, but invitations to innovate. They inherited a legacy of resilience, curiosity, and the courage to embrace complexity. For viewers watching this, here are actionable takeaways from Mr. Ellis's story. First, when faced with a problem, break it down into manageable parts. This approach prevents overwhelm and creates clear steps toward progress. Second, cultivate patience. Real growth and understanding happen through repeated effort and reflection, not overnight. Third, reframe failures as data points, not defeats. Each setback provides valuable information that guides the next attempt. Fourth, seek and offer mentorship. Growth multiplies when knowledge and encouragement flow between people, creating a chain reaction of impact. Finally, remember that your environment doesn't define your potential. Like Mr. Ellis's workshop, even the most humble beginnings can be fertile ground for extraordinary growth. So, when you face your own challenges, picture that cluttered workshop. Hear Mr. Ellis's calm voice asking you to see beyond the broken pieces and take one small step forward. Because the legacy you build through resilience, curiosity, and mentorship can inspire not just your life, but generations to come. But let us delve deeper into the essence of Mr. Ellis's mentorship to truly understand the profound ripple effect of his work. The workshop was more than a physical space. It was a crucible of transformation. Every object within, from the tiniest screw to the most complex machine, held a story of trial, error, and eventual triumph. Mr. Ellis often said that the value was not in the finished product, but in the process of creation itself. He believed this process could teach something far beyond mechanics and electronics. It could cultivate a mindset that shaped how individuals faced life's broader challenges. For example, when Maya first struggled with the radio, her initial instinct was to see the broken device as useless, a symbol of failure. But Mr. Ellis helped her see it differently. He asked questions like, What sounds do you imagine the radio could have played, and what stories might it have heard over the years? These questions invited Maya to connect emotionally and intellectually with the problem, transforming frustration into curiosity. Through this shift, Maya learned to approach problems with empathy and imagination, skills that later fueled her innovation in designing hearing aids. She understood that technology was not just about circuits and components, but about human experience and connection. Similarly, Jamal's journey was emblematic of how patience and analogy could unlock understanding. Mr. Ellis recognized that Jamal's struggles weren't due to lack of intelligence, but to the complexity of abstract concepts. By likening circuits to city streets and electricity to traffic flow, Mr. Ellis made the intangible tangible. He often said, just like in a city, if one street is blocked, traffic finds another path. Electricity moves similarly, and understanding these paths helps us fix the flow. This analogy helped Jamal visualize problems in a new way and reinforced the idea that obstacles were not barriers, but puzzles with multiple solutions. Over time, Jamal's confidence grew, and he applied these lessons to create sustainable energy solutions that addressed real-world problems in underserved communities. Mr. Ellis's mentorship extended beyond technical knowledge. He fostered an environment where failure was not feared, but embraced as an essential part of learning. He would often recount stories of famous inventors and scientists who faced countless setbacks before breakthroughs. Every failure, he said, is a step closer to success. It's data we collect on the path forward. This philosophy was embodied in a small shelf in the workshop labeled the Wall of Wreckage, where failed inventions and broken parts were displayed not as reminders of defeat, but as badges of perseverance. Visitors were encouraged to study them and appreciate the lessons they held. Moreover, Mr. Ellis was deeply committed to building a community around his workshop. He believed that mentorship was a two-way street, where both mentor and mentee grew together. He organized regular gatherings where his students shared their projects, challenges, and breakthroughs. These sessions fostered collaboration and created a network of support that extended beyond the walls of the workshop. This sense of community was critical in a neighborhood often marked by isolation and limited resources. Through these connections, individuals found encouragement, shared knowledge, and inspired each other to aim higher. The long-term impact of Mr. Ellis's mentorship is perhaps best understood through the stories of those he influenced. Maya's affordable hearing aids have transformed the lives of countless children who otherwise would have lacked access to such technology. Her work is not just a testament to her technical skills, but to the empathy and problem-solving mindset instilled by Mr. Ellis. Jamal's sustainable energy projects have brought light and power to homes that had long been in darkness, creating opportunities for education and economic growth. His innovations are rooted in the patience and layered learning that began in the workshop. Beyond their individual achievements, both Maya and Jamal have become mentors themselves, passing on the legacy of resilience and curiosity. They embody the idea that true success is measured not only by personal accomplishments, but by the ability to uplift others. For those watching and reflecting on Mr. Ellis's story, it is important to recognize that mentorship and growth are ongoing journeys. They require commitment, openness, and the willingness to embrace complexity. The principles Mr. Ellis championed, breaking down problems, cultivating patience, reframing failure, and fostering mentorship, are universally applicable, transcending fields and circumstances. In practical terms, you might begin by identifying a challenge you are currently facing and consciously breaking it into smaller, manageable tasks. Celebrate progress at each step, no matter how small. When setbacks occur, document what you learn rather than seeing them as defeats. Seek out mentors or peers who can offer guidance and encouragement, and be prepared to give back in kind. Remember, the environment around you doesn't confine your potential. Like the forgotten workshop in a neglected part of the city, your surroundings can be the fertile ground from which extraordinary growth emerges. It is the mindset you cultivate, the questions you ask, and the resilience you build that create your path forward. So, as you navigate your own challenges, imagine stepping into that cluttered workshop. Hear Mr. Ellis's calm, steady voice, urging you to look beyond the broken pieces and see the possibilities hidden within. Take that first small step, then another and another. Through resilience, curiosity, and mentorship, you have the power to build a legacy that reaches far beyond yourself, one that can inspire and uplift generations to come.